So, to the snooker yesterday, two Just Stop Oil protesters stopping play at the World Snooker Championship, one jumping on a table at the Crucible, before throwing orange dye over the cloth, and another trying to do the same, or possibly, there seems to be a degree of confusion, was she trying to glue her hand to the table? But this is what happened. This commentary taken, of course, from the BBC.
What that was for. Oh. Well, these are terrible, terrible scenes here at the Crucible. Everybody trying to enjoy the snooker. I've never seen anything like this in 25 years of watching or working on the Crucible Theatre snooker.
So, of course, this is the second major sporting event in just a matter of days that's been disrupted. Not, I have to say, by Just Stop Oil. It was the animal protesters involved with the Grand National on the weekend. So are these now the modern-day suffragettes? Why would they happen to choose the snooker? Well, neither are available, so I'm grateful to Emma Brown, who is with Just Stop Oil, who's coming on to talk about this. Why, do you know these two, assuming they're at least your colleagues, if not your friends? What were they hoping to achieve yesterday? Good morning to you.
Morning, Nick. Hi, thank you for having me on. Just to introduce myself, I'm Emma, I'm 32.
Yes.
And I'm a librarian from Glasgow. And thank you for having me on.
Thanks, Emma, indeed.
Things
yes.
to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, and obviously, I do know the two involved. And I don't know if you were hearing all the jeers and the reaction from the crowd, but it is quite a brave thing to do, to push through this kind of politeness barrier that we have in society and do something that gets attention to this like crucial issue.
Yes, I mean, it's also very disruptive and also spoils the enjoyment of people who, I imagine, probably have paid quite a lot of money to see this, and they don't get to see the game.
But I think it's kind of a bit of a bizarre game of attention that we have to play with the media. You know, we have to do something this attention grabbing to get some eyes on the fact that our government is committing what is an act of genocide in 2023 by expanding fossil fuel production when we know the consequences of it. And so I find it bizarre to be talking too much about a square of green fabric and snooker balls and Henry Hoovers when we're going to be sitting here and being spectators watching entire nation states be annihilated by climate change and do nothing about it.
Then why did your organisation, if you find it bizarre, Emma, why did your organisation target a snooker tournament?
No, I don't find that bizarre. I find it bizarre that we have to do these things to become newsworthy. That's what I find bizarre.
You're not serious, or are you suggesting that my listeners and most people who consume media are now not aware? Are you suggesting they're not aware of Just Stop Oil and your motives and wishes?
No, not at all. And that's exactly why we've done this, because we are going to be taking to the streets from the 24th of April, doing slow marches across the city every single day. And that is being disruptive, but it's within our legal right to protest. And so we're encouraging people, if they agree with the message that we have, to come out on the streets with us. Yourself, Nick, if you agree that we should have no new oil and gas because it's a basic, first step to tackling this emergency, then we need people to get out on the streets with us, sign up with us at juststopoil.org and show that solidarity. And this is the diversity of tactics that we need in order to get the change that we need.
Why do you need to disrupt sportsmen and sportswomen's and spectators' lives? Why? What justifies you to do that?
Well, Nick, you were just talking about the suffragettes and you were just talking about disrupting the Grand National. Can you not see the connection between the things that people have done in the past and the things that we're doing now?
No, I can't, I'm afraid.
You can't, but you just talked about it earlier. Are you really saying you can't understand the connection between...
I'm going to ask... Because I ask a question of my audience, it doesn't mean I necessarily agree with it. No, I don't see the similarity.
You don't see the similarity?
No, because I would point to...
disrupting the horse race and Emily Davison disrupting the horse race.
No, because, if we limit ourselves to your particular issue, if we may, today, we discussed the horses yesterday, I am told that the British government has gone further than most any other Western government in trying to tackle this problem and setting in motion certain deadlines that companies and others...
No, Nick, surely you can't believe that. We're not silly. The British public are not silly. We know that opening the first coal mine in 30
I think you are lamentably silly to jump on it.
Action.
I think you're lamentably silly to jump on a snooker table and cover it in orange dye, by the way.
New oil and gas. We can't be told that opening the biggest, an oil field that's going to emit more emissions than the poorest 23 countries combined. We know that's not climate action. You know, I know that your listeners, you know, I don't think it's the problem that we don't know what the government is doing. You know, if the UN, if their own climate change committee, if the International Energy Agency, if the World Bank, if every 700 scientists have written to the government, even the Labour Party, all the other parties agree with our demand. There's no benefit for the British people in continuing oil and gas exploration. Not only is it going to destroy our livable future, destroy our water systems, our food systems.
You honestly think that stopping a snooker game is going to change that?
I've already explained, Nick. I've already explained that in diversity of tactics, you have these media-grabbing, attention-grabbing actions, which get us. You know, I was just talking to someone in Australia at 12 last night and explaining what the UK government is doing and what our tactics are. There are diversity of tactics. The other tactic, obviously, and the one we're asking people to get involved with, is getting out on the streets and showing up and marching. Because if you can't draw the comparison between people marching on the streets and change and direct action, then I'm very confused about our grasp of how we've got to the rights that I've
Emma Brown. Okay, I am grateful. Emma Brown, thank you for coming on. You are from Just Stop Oil. You have mentioned those marches a couple of times. I think most of my listeners will support something such as a march. It's when you choose to disrupt a sporting tournament. I appreciate you weren't involved in the Grand National, but that was a couple of days ago, and the snooker, which is what your colleagues were involved in here.